One of the biggest challenges I used to have in my life that was affecting me the most, that was preventing me from expressing myself, being myself, that was inhibiting me, was the care, the worry about what people might say. I was afraid of making mistakes, was afraid of appearing wrong, making myself appear stupid, or being embarrassed. All these things about giving other people so much power over me, over my confidence, over my life, turned me into a nice guy, turned me into a people pleaser, turned me into somebody who was playing it safe. And for a long time, I was playing it safe. And when you play it safe, there's no fulfillment, there's no growth, and you're dying inside because you're shrinking yourself to please others or to avoid putting yourself in situation where you might feel embarrassed or insecure or afraid or whatever the thing may be. And so in my life, I had to learn the hard way to break through that fear, to set myself free, to express myself. In the past, having a YouTube channel was inconceivable. And that's why I had to wait years before I started my YouTube channel. But what I realized is that working with a lot of my clients, I realized that a lot of people are experiencing this. A lot of people have this fear of what people would say, and that fear of being embarrassed, making a fool of themselves, appearing stupid. It's a human need that we have. We all have this need to feel important, like special. And so at the core, our primary way of receiving that need, of meeting that need, is through relationship. Yeah? And so it makes us feel very vulnerable when we don't have that need, when we are rejected, unliked, disliked, and so on. But you can learn to build your confidence, to take your power back, to immunize yourself a little bit toward that fear of other people. And in this video, I want to give you a very simple framework, a very simple state of mind, attitude, something that you can practice, something very practical that you can apply in your life now to put you on a different trajectory, to take yourself back and to stop worrying and spending so much energy and time and effort on other people's opinion and what they may say and how they may affect you and so on. Because the moment you do that, life becomes so much easier, and we all need to learn to freaking break free, right? And so this simple formula is something called let them and fuck them. And this is, you could say, your new motto in life or your new mantra in life, let them and fuck them. And the way this came to me is actually through an audiobook. And the funny story behind this is that I was on Audible and I didn't know what to listen to. And so I just got one of the bestsellers. I was like, let's just grab something, listen to it. I downloaded it. I went to the gym and I was at the gym and I was just warming up and I wasn't listening to anything, right? And at that moment, two guys walked in from the locker room, right? And they were half naked, meaning like topless kind of thing. And they were noisy and like just taking a lot of space, making a lot of noise. And if you've ever been in Thailand, you know that being topless and so on is not very culturally something that they do. So my mind started to become judgmental, criticizing, starting to feel irritated and so on. And in that moment, I realized that. And I was like, you know what, stop that, because that has nothing to do with me. They're literally doing nothing to me. I might not agree with the way they're dressing, the way they're talking, or who they're being, and what they're doing and so on, but this has nothing to do with me. And people are allowed to do themselves. So let them be, kind of thing, right? And so I decided to kind of just stop that noise in my mind, refocus on what I was doing, working out. I put my earplug and I started listening to the book. And the book is called Let Them by Mel Robbins, the Let Them Theory. And I started listening to the book, and the book was just describing what I just did like 5 minutes ago with those two guys at the gym. And I was like listening to that. And the insight that came to me, man, I've been applying this unconsciously in my life without being able to so nicely, so well structured and explaining and giving a framework and a tool and a strategy, you know. But the book made me realize of something I was already doing in my own way and really giving a nice structure and really enhance the whole thing that I was doing. And this clicked because I realized that, man, that book, which is a great book, and I strongly invite you, by the way, to pick it up, is actually giving a very useful formula to liberate yourself from the attention that we give to the drama, to the other people, to simplify life, but also to stop being so judgmental toward others. Because if you are afraid of people judging you, it means that on some level, you are also judging others. This is how it goes. In order to defend yourself, the ego man will attack others. So in order to break that pattern, in order to get your power back, in order to really bring yourself that confidence, that self-esteem and so on, what she shared in that book and what I've learned in my own life and was applying in my own life is something that can radically make a difference in your own life. So what is the essence of the book? Very simply put, what she talks about in the book is to, instead of jumping into the story and letting your mind worry and become crazy and make a story and energize it and focus your attention on it and making it worse, instead of jumping there, just like I did with the two guys, step back and let them. Meaning, let people be them. Let people have their thought, their opinion, their dislike, their worry, their drama, their thing. Let them. It has nothing to do with you. So let people disagree with the goals and the desires you have. Let people disagree with your way of life. Let people disagree with your life choices. Let people not like you. Let your auntie that has never a nice thing to say, let her be miserable. Let people be themselves. Let that friend who you know is going to make the same mistake again, let them do it again. It's not your responsibility to save others. It's not your responsibility to have everybody to like you. It's not your responsibility to change yourself for other people to like you or to fit in their model of reality. Let them, and be yourself, express yourself, go for what you know is right for you in this present and time. And so if we look at some example, you may be afraid to start your own YouTube channel like I was, because you're afraid that nobody's gonna watch, or that people won't like it, or that some people will write nasty comments. Well, let them. If they prefer watching something else, great. If they wanna write something nasty, let them. It has nothing to do with me. You see, the most important here is not just your word, but it's the distance, it's the gap, it's the different story you tell yourself versus, like, I could have made a whole thing about the two guys at the gym, but I decided stop it. And I decided to take control of the narrative. So instead of giving my attention, my energy, and to create something out of nothing, which we always do, that's the perception equal creation. So the moment there is a story, your mind, especially your ego mind, will, amplify it, and the little fire will become like a massive fire. So instead of creating that story, you're creating, and you detach yourself by creating another story. And so then there's nothing to be worried about. There's nothing to feel fearful about. There's nothing to, overthink about and make something into nothing. And so this is why this is so powerful. So if you go on a date and it doesn't go well, let them be themselves, walk away, go date somebody else, go try something else. If your client at work is not buying, well, let them buy something else. Maybe they're not the right client, right? So instead of worrying there and thinking like, what is it wrong? Is it my fault? What is my boss gonna say? Just let people be themselves. But sometimes you also have to learn to say, fuck them, because this is not about becoming a pushover. This is not about letting them walk all over you, letting them take advantage of your kindness, letting them, use you or something, right? Because I used to be a nice guy. I know what it is to put other people's needs first over and over and over again, and then ending up being miserable and finishing last, so to speak. So sometimes you need boundaries. Sometimes you need to learn to say no. Sometimes you need to learn to say it's enough. Sometimes you just need to say fuck them. So that friend that's always late and lacking respect and never showing up on time, or canceling last minute all the time, maybe it's time to say fuck you and get it off your life. That person that's ghosting you, that you thought was special and something was happening, and you were dating, it was happening, and then boom, no more texts. Maybe it's time to say fuck them, right? So sometimes you need to learn to respect yourself first, to put your need first, to put those boundaries first. And you don't need to do that from a place of anger or to attack others or to diminish others or belittle others. You can do that from a place of confidence and conviction that I deserve something better. Yeah. So this is why I think, the let them is good, but you don't want to confuse let them and let them walk over me. No, sometimes you need to exercise that, like, stop, enough. And so this framework works very well because now you have tools to work on both polarities. And so practically, how does that work? Well, I gave you some examples. So it's not rocket science. All you have to realize is that, let's say you're driving somewhere or you're at the supermarket and you see this or that or something, and your mind starts to create that story. Maybe you even see your partner, not giving you the attention you want, or doing something again, or whatever it may be. So instead of you trying to control them or change them or, argue with them or whatever the case or the context may be, let them do themselves. Let them be themselves. Let them take care of this by themselves. unless they explicitly ask you for your help or your opinion or your advice or whatever. Don't try to rescue order or fix order or save order, right? Let people be themselves. And instead, focus on you, focus on being happier, focus on what you want, focus on your dream, focus on your intention. Like, give all of that energy to something that actually feeds your life, grows your life, and excites you in your life. And if you apply that framework, instead of creating a story, energizing a story, and sometimes you know, when things really trigger you and things really happen, you might need to really stick to that gun, let them kind of thing, right? But eventually you practice that way of being. You create that habit, you create that detachment, you'll catch yourself faster and faster and faster. And before you know it, just like me at the gym with those two guys, you realize that, hey, I'm doing it without even knowing I'm doing it. And so that's where you have power, because instead of reacting unconsciously, now you're responding, you're choosing consciously, how am I going to respond? So what is the story that is going to serve me now? And you do that, that's when you take your power back, because instead of making other people having the power over how you feel, now you choose the narrative. And when you do that, not only you start to feel better about yourself, but you start to feel also more empowering, because the moment you control your perception, you control what you can create and allow in your reality. So I hope this video makes sense, guys. If you want to know more about this, you can get the book Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. Great book, additional resource. I think it's a long book. It could be summarized in a shortened format, but whatever. Great book, get it, read it, immerse in it, but most important, practice it, see for yourself. And remember to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of this kind of video. I'll see you next time. Be well.